Hello everyone, welcome to Guitar Lesson 2. This is Guitar with Tarrega, and this is a series intended to give beginner guitarists another way to practice. This is intended as a way for you to practice along with me. I've gone in more detail on the goal and effect of these lessons that you can look in the VOD called Guitar Discussion 1. You can notice at the very top we have a Google Drive URL, which you can also find in the Twitter post at the very bottom, right underneath the video. I have my Twitter there, which has the clickable URL to this if you want to download the sheet music. Basically, this is all a mechanical approach to getting your fingers ready to play the guitar. The first few lessons, including this one, are not inherently musical for a lot of the exercises. They're very just mechanical. So it's more of a, think of it more like a workout for these first few lessons. We're not going to be producing anything that sounds incredible yet, but it will work our fingers out in every single way that we can between these two notes. Between these several notes we're doing. So at the very end, we're going to be doing some more melodic stuff that actually sounds more like music. And to give you an example, it's going to sound something like this. For example, this 2 MD 8-bar melody right here is... One more time. Right, so we get something a little bit more melodic at the very end, but at the beginning it's just going to be more of a mechanical exercise. We're approaching every single note in every single way possible with our new notes. You'll see off to the right we have E, F, G, B, C, and D, and we have how those are played. So guitar diagrams look like basically a picture of your guitar, the very top part of it. So if you look at E, there's a little circle in that first string, and that just means that we don't use our left hand on it. If you look at F, there's a dot right next to the first fret right here. That means you push down next to the first fret to produce this note. G, you can see, has a dot next to the third fret, so that means we use our third finger to push down that fret. When we get to B, that shows that we have a circle on the second string, so we play it open with no left hand, and we're plucking the second string for that note. And then for C, there's a dot on the second string that we push down like this. And we'll go over this more slowly, but just to give you a quick run through of what all these things are on the right here. And then once more we have D on the second string, and that is a third finger on the second string. And just a quick recap from yesterday, when you're plucking on guitar, when you're finger picking, we generally want our thumb to be in the middle of the sound hole for now, and we want our I and M finger, which is the index or indicio, and the middle or medio, to alternate. We want I and M to constantly alternate like this, for what we're doing now at least. So we're usually going to start with our I finger, and we're going to go to our M and just back and forth like we're walking. The angle of attack will be diagonal across this way. And before we get started, the last thing I'll mention is that I will be doing a second version of this video a little bit later today, which will not include any talking. It will just be a straight playthrough. This video is going to have a little bit of explanation whenever there needs to be some explanation. But if you just want to play along, you can wait a bit later for the other video, and that will just have a straight playthrough. I think we're ready to go here. I'll stop whenever we need to. This is going to be a review of our E, F, and G notes first on the first string. So that means we have our open E here, and we have F starting on the second line, that's the first fret, and we have G on the very top of the staff, that is our third fret with our third finger. If you're watching and there needs to be any sort of audio adjustments or you can't see something well, just give me a heads up and I'll go ahead and adjust it. For now, let's play through our E string review, and we'll stop when we get to our B note, which will be a little bit lower along. You're going to hear 4 clicks, and then the song will start, and you can play along. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 2, going to F, the first fret, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. G note, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Okay, before we go on to the B, Fernite, hello. Fernite let me know that we have the wrong tags here on the video, so let me go ahead and edit those really quick. Let's see. Yeah, we don't want hard mode and permadeath. There we go. Okay, so moving on, we have our B note, and this is played as an open second string. You can look off to the right still. And yeah, we play it like this, just the open second string. Okay, so practicing our whole note B string. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Half notes, 2. Now we're going to the C note, and this is the first fret on the second string. So much like the F note, we're still on the first fret, but instead of being on the first string, we just hop over to the second string. We push this fret down. Be careful not to accidentally splay your finger out like this. Remember to always keep it curved. That's something constant that you should be aware of. In general, try not to pick your thumb up over the edge too much. A tiny bit's probably okay, but try to keep it back behind the neck. Let your wrist maintain a straight angle if you can. Try not to do this. And thumb generally in the center of the sound hole. Let your thumb be a little bit closer to the center of the sound hole, and let your fingers be closer to this part of the rosette right here, just a little bit spread out like that. Thumb will have a closer proximity to your fingerboard up here. Okay. So starting on the C note, the first fret on the second string. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2. Quarter notes. Try to use the least amount of pressure on this note on your left hand while still getting a sound out of it. If your finger gets sore, it's okay to lift it up and take a break. Just jump back in when you're ready. Okay, and here's where we'll move on to the D note. So the D note is the third fret of the second string, and we use our ring finger for this one. We use our 3 finger. So 1 will get the C, right? 3 will get the D. Here's a general piece of advice for guitar and really any stringed instrument that you play with your fingers. If you have a higher note, and higher on a stringed instrument is actually going this way, if we have a higher note pushed down, then anything that we do under that note will not change the sound. Watch. So I have a D pushed down, and I don't have the C pushed down. And it sounds like this. What happens if we also push down the C? Nothing. Anything I do underneath the third finger doesn't change it. And the reason for that is because the string is vibrating between here, the bridge of the guitar, and the highest finger. When we push this down, it's stopping the string. The string is now stopped or pushed down over this fret, so it's not allowed to vibrate beyond this point. So anything we do below this point doesn't change the sound. Watch, all the same sound. No matter what I'm doing, it's all the same sound. Now if we lift up that third finger, and of course it's going to change, right? So the guitar and the strings only pay attention to what your highest fret is doing. Okay, so with that in mind, if you want to keep your C note down, if we go to a C at some point while you're playing a D, for example, if we go D to C, you can simply lift your 3 and your 1 will already be there, waiting for you to play your C note. And that's a little bit more economical than doing a D, lift, and then pushing down a C. So just lifting 3 to 1 is more economical, right? It lets your hand actually rest a little bit more. Okay, so we're starting on D now. This is the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Remember, keep your thumb behind the neck if you can. A little bit of poking over the edge is probably okay, but keep straight wrists. Let your thumb on the right hand be in the center of the sound tool. Fingers around the rosette right here. Fingers curved. Don't splay them out. Let's go. 4 clicks and we'll start. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, half notes. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Remember, if your fingers get sore, it's okay to lift up and take a break and just jump back in when you're ready. Quarter notes. Eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Okay, now we're getting to the point where we're actually switching between 2 notes, and just like the last string, we're going to kind of go in a methodical order here. We're going from B to C, so B to C is open, 2nd string, to the 1st finger, right here. And we're just going back and forth between those 2 notes. So again, look at your staff. We have B right here. That's our open 2nd string, and we have C right here. That's our 1st fret 2nd string, B to C. And that's all we're playing with. Open B, 1st fret C. Cool. Here we go. 4 clicks and we'll start, and we'll stop when we get to the B to the D section. switching between B and D. This is the open second string again, to the 3rd fret D right here. And those are the only 2 notes we're playing with for these 32 measures here. Right, 169 all the way to 200 there. So let's give this a try. Open B, open second string, to 3rd fret D. 4 clicks and we'll start. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Quarters. Okay, now we're doing C, which is the 1st fret of the 2nd string, here, to D, which is the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Again, these are the only 2 notes we'll be playing with for these measures, C to D, 1 to 3, both on the 2nd string. Okay, 4 clicks and we'll start. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Final stretch here. Okay, now one thing to bring up one more time before we go on is that exercise was a perfect example of a good time to keep your C note, your 1 finger down, while your 3rd finger does the movement, because we're always returning back to C, right? And it doesn't make any sense to lift up C if we can just keep it down and only move our 3rd finger. So doing this is much better than doing this, right? This is 2 movements. This is only 1 movement. Moving 2 fingers here, moving 1 finger here. So this is much better just moving the 3rd finger up and down instead of both. So keep your C down when we do exercises where we're using C as that pivot note. Now we're doing a B pivot note, but we're going to C and D. So what is a pivot note? That's something that we constantly return to. So our 8, 16, 24 measures here from 233 all the way to 256. B is the note that we're always returning to. We're going B to C, B to D, B to C, B to D. Again, B is right here. It's the open 2nd string. C is right here. It's the space note. It's the 1st fret on the 2nd string. And then we go back to B. Again, it's the line note in the center of the staff. That's the open 2nd string. And then we go to our 3rd fret on the 2nd string. That's our D. Right here. Okay, so open 1, open 3, or O1, O3 if we want to say it out loud while we're playing. 4 clicks and we'll start. Right, open 1 here, open 3. Quarter notes now. B, C, B, D. Open 1, open 3. Open 1, 3. Okay, same idea on the next 32 measures here, sorry, 24 measures. But now we're using C as the pivot note, so this is the note we'll constantly return to. So we're going C to B, or 1 to open, and then C to D, or 1 to 3. So let's recap on the notes again. C is this note that we have highlighted here. It's the 1st fret on the 2nd string. B is the open 2nd string. Going back to C, that's the 1st fret on the 2nd string. Going to D, the 3rd fret on the 2nd string, right? 1 open, 1 3. 1 open, 1 3. C, B, C, D. Okay, 4 clicks and we'll start. Starting on 1 on C. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quarter notes. next pivot is our D note. That is our third finger on the second string, and we're using D as our pivot, which means we're constantly returning to that third finger on the second string. So we're going from D to open B, and again, open B is the second string open, going back to D, which is again the third fret, to C, which is the first fret on the guitar. 3, open, 3, 1, 3, open, 3, 1, D, B, D, C. Okay, let's try it here. Four clicks and we'll start. Okay, now we're going to do a little melody here, and after that we'll go on to string switching. So this melody starts on C. It uses just C, B, and D, no first string notes. So C again is the first fret, B is open, D is the third fret. Okay, from the top here, starting on C. Okay, now we're going to work on string switching. Let's take a moment to rest our fingers. So we've, up until this point, only been doing notes on the same string. So now we're going to go through the mechanics of switching strings. For right now, it's just going to be another very methodical approach to this, where we're looking at just two notes switching back and forth for a while. So we have, sorry, not two notes, but always using a pivot note, I should say. So we're going from B to E, and then B to F, and B to G. And to recap, B is right here. That's our pivot note, our open string, open second string. We go to E as our open first string, back to our pivot note B, to F, which is our first string, first fret, back to open B, which is our second string, up to G, which is our first fret, sorry, first string, third fret, back to open second string, B, pivot note, right, and then to F again, the first fret. Okay, from the top here, you can see that the pattern is going to stay pretty consistent throughout most of this. We're always using B as a pivot node. So we're going to go straight through from 329 all the way to 360 here, and then we'll stop when we get to the C pivot node. First fret here, open, going to 3 after this, open, first, open, open going to 1, going to 3, going to 1, and switching more often here. Open to 1, open to 3, open to 1, okay, so now we have C as a pivot note instead of B. C is the note we'll constantly return to. So C is the first fret on the second string, right here. And we're going to E, just like we did before, and back to C. And again, E is the open first string. And we go back to C, the second string note that we're already on. And then we go to F, the first fret on the first string. We go back to C, the first fret on the second string again. And we go to G, the third fret on the first string. We go back to C, the first fret on the second string, and then back to F on the first string, first fret, first string there. Okay. 4 clicks and we'll start, and we'll stop when we get to the D pivot. Here's the first fret, first string, back to 1, 3, 1, and 1. C, 1, open, C, first fret, 1, going to 3, 1, to 3 now. 1 to 1. 1 to open. 1 to 1. 1 to 3. 1 to 1. Okay, now we'll move on to the D pivot, we have our third finger, D, on the second string. This is a D pivot note, third finger on the second string. This is the one we'll constantly return to. So we have D going to open E. E is right here. It's the open first string. Going back to D. Going to the first fret of the first string, that's F. Going back to D, second string, third fret. Going back to G, first string, third fret. Going back to D, and then going to F. So you can see the pattern between all these pivot sections is the same. We have our first string, open 1, 3, 1, and we're just putting our pivot note in between those notes, right? So that's the same thing we did up here with the C pivot. We had open 1, 3, 1, but we had a C pivot note. Now we're doing the same thing with a D pivot. Okay, we're going to start with D, and we'll end before we get to the E pivot note there. 2, 3, 4, open. Going to 1, 3, going to 3, back to 3, going to 1, back to 3, going to open, 3, 1, 3, 3, 3, 1, 3, open, 3, open, 3 to 1 now, 3 to 3, 3 to 1, 3 to open, 3 to 1, 3 to 3, 3 to 1. So just a heads up, there are some things that we could do differently with our fingers if we wanted to. I'm not doing them here on purpose just because we haven't really used our fourth finger yet. But if you want to try it, you can. Anytime we have a third fret going to a third fret between two strings, you can use two fingers. You don't have to hop 3 back and forth like I've been doing. You can use 3 to 4. And that way you just have them both pushed down on the same fret like that. So before I was doing this, 3 to 3, and here's 3 to 4, just held down. So choose which way works for you best right now. Eventually we do want to start using the pinky, but we haven't really used it officially yet, so I wasn't going to worry about that too much. Okay, we're going on to using pivot notes on the first string instead of the second string now. So our first string pivot note is now open E. This is the one we're returning to. Open E, and again it's at the top of the staff here, it's in the open space. Going to open B, which is this. So if we look at our pattern here on these measures, it's always open, 1, 3, 1, with our pivot note of E in the middle. So open 1, 3, 1 on the second string, like this, but with our open first string between all of those. Okay, let's start on open E here, 4 clicks, and we'll start. use F as the pivot note. Same pattern as before. We're always returning to our F, which is the first finger, first fret on the first string. We're always returning to this, and it's right here. That's our F note. The pattern for the second string, where we're kind of bouncing to, is the open B string, just like before, back to F, back to first fret, second string, that's a C, back to F, back to third fret D, back to F, back to C. Okay, from the top, here's 1, going to open, 1, going to 1, 1, going to 3, 1, going to 1, back to 1, open, 1, going to 1, 1, going to 3, 1, going back to 1. Okay, 1 to open now. 1 to 1. 1 to 3. 1 to 1. Okay, finally we're using our G pivot note. This is the third finger on the first string. This is the one we're constantly returning to. It's at the very top of the staff, right? Sitting on the very top of our treble staff here. So we go from G to open B, G to first fret C, G to third fret D, G to first fret C. And I'll of course call those out as we play. Here we go, starting on G. 2, 3, going to open, going to 1, back to our G, going to D, third finger, G, back to 1, G, open, G, 1, G, 3, this is D, G, 1, let's see, okay. 3 to open, 3 to 1, 3 to 3, 3 to 1. Okay, that is the end of the strict mechanical exercises. If you've made it this far, really good job, because that was a lot of material to go over all at once. We're going on to just a few melodies. There's not too much left. Some of these will be maybe fairly challenging, so if you can't play along right now, or if you couldn't play along at any part of this lesson, don't beat yourself up. Just go through and try to practice the sheet music a little bit, and then you can try playing along with the VOD again if you'd like. The melodies here could be challenging for a beginner guitarist, but they're just using all the techniques that we've gone over today. Give yourself time and practice on this kind of stuff, and I promise you will be able to do it with a bit of practice if you can't do it today. So just I'll be playing through these melodies, and we're just going to let the the play kind of go through, since we have some measures of nothing going on, we'll let it keep going. We have, I think I've wrote about 5 little melodies here that you can play along with me if you'd like. If your fingers are getting sore and you need to take a break, then just hang out and you can listen. Right, here we go. After some of these melodies, I might play them again without the program going through them, and I might embellish them a little bit in the spaces in between here. So if I keep playing, that's what you'll be hearing. Okay, 2, 3, 4. Okay, next melody here, 3, 4. Okay, that is the end of our melody there, and that's basically the end of our lesson. As this is sort of an experimental thing, please, if you have any sort of questions or this is going too fast, let me know, because I'm totally open to any extra ideas. Um, yeah, we'll go ahead and do one more video a little bit later today that will be exactly this, but without the talking between the exercises, for those of you who might want to practice along without any sort of extra talking, right? So just a straight through playthrough of it. Again, you can find the sheet music at this link, which is also in my Twitter, which is at the very bottom of the stream. And we'll go ahead and start the next lesson. Lesson 3 is going to be on probably Friday, I think. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it out any sooner than that, but expect these about 3 to 4 times per week. I'm going to be trying to do one of these on the same days that we have our gaming streams, so that'll be, let's see, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Yeah, so Friday through Monday, basically. And any extra days, of course, I'll announce through Twitter. And again, thank you for watching, and good luck on guitar practice. Take care.